Buongiorno and welcome to Cooking and Eating Healthy with Anna. I wasn't going to do this today, but I couldn't let this recipe go by. We have stacked eggplants, asparagus, garlic asparagus with mozzarella cheese, and crab cakes. So any of you that love crab cakes, this is for you. First, I'm going to talk to you about the eggplant. You buy the small little eggplants. It's the purple and white one. They're very small. I buy 2 of those. Wash the outside skin because you're going to leave it on, and slice the ends off, and then you're going to slice them about a 1/2 inch thick. Enough to get 3 stacks. So you're going to stack them in 3s. What you're going to do is you're going to use my vegetable medley recipe that I gave you. And with the leftover ends and extra eggplant, you're going to just dice them, put them in my vegetable medley, and cook that up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take all the slices, which would be 3, 4, 5, 15 slices you should get, and then you'll have leftover. And take the 15 slices, put them across your cookie sheet, single layer. You're going to brush olive oil on both sides, and make sure you pat them dry before you do this, okay? Because they have to be dry. Pat them on both sides, brush them with the brush on both sides with olive oil, and then you're going to put them in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes, and then you're going to flip them over and do it for another 10 minutes. Don't do them too thin because they'll come out mushy. And then when you take that out of the oven, you're going to take your vegetable medley that you made. You're going to put that on top of the first slice. Then you're going to sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese on it and a little mozzarella on it. Put your next slice on top of that slice and repeat it until you have a stack of 3. Once you have a stack of 3, you're going to put olive oil in your casserole dish. I use the spray pan, and you're going to see stacks like this, okay? So I got 5 stacks out of mine. And then you can put them in the fridge till you're ready to cook them. When you're going to heat them or cook them, you're going to put them on 425 degrees for 5 to 10 minutes until your cheese melts and they're warm. So that'll take care of your eggplant Parmesan stacks. Then, of course, you have the cheesy garlic broccoli. And I take and put all this in a baggie, 3 tablespoons of olive oil to 1 pound of asparagus, a tablespoon of minced garlic, chopped, 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cracked pepper, and shredded mozzarella will come. You're going to put these in the oven without the mozzarella. Preheat your oven to 425, which we haven't done yet. And you'll leave that in there for about 15 minutes until they're soft enough or hard enough to how you like them. And then you'll take them out and sprinkle mozzarella cheese across the whole thing. And then you'll do that. Now we're going to do the crab cakes. These are so good and low in calorie. You buy a can of the lump crab. Don't buy the claws, buy the one that's lump, okay? Crab meat. Comes in a can. It's in your fish department. It's always usually in a round can. They put it aside. You're going to mix, put your crab cake in your pan, and you're going to mix all dry ingredients in another bowl first, which would be a tablespoon of parsley. That's the fresh parsley chopped. Use less if you use dry. 1.5 tablespoons of almond flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of Old Bay. I buy the Maryland's style crab seasoning. And you're going to mix that together in a bowl. And then in another bowl, you're going to put, I actually put it in here because you're going to whip it. You're going to beat it up with the whisk. It'd be 3 eggs, 3 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, a tablespoon of light mayonnaise, a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then you're just going to take the dry ingredients, mix it in with your crab, and then you'll put the wet ingredient, mix it all up. What I do is I take a 1/4 cup measuring scoop and I scoop it out and do that. You'll end up with 6 round crab cakes, and you could have 2 of them. That's in 1 serving. So let's put our eggplant, actually our asparagus. And I'm going to leave that in for 10 minutes before I put the eggplant in. Let's put the timer on. Put them in a preheated oven. We're going to do this for 10 minutes. And then I'll put the eggplant in for another 10. So here we have the crab meat. And now you take the liquids that you've put together, whip them up, and then just put it in with your crab cake, or your crab meat rather, and your dry seasoning. You're going to mix that all up. I do not do this ahead because what happens is the egg settles and you'll have too much liquid. So if you want, mix your wet ingredients, put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge, and your dry ingredients put aside till you're ready, just ready to put them in. Okay. This over here. I just couldn't let this recipe go by because it is very good. So you're going to put 6, 3 and 3. Just push it down a little bit. And you'll put these on broil for 10 minutes or so till they're brown. These are very low in calorie and they are delicious. All right. If you're having extra, just push it around, you know. Add it to the ones that don't have that much. There you go. Okay, and these will be on broil 10 to 15 minutes. My oven is very hot, so it doesn't go to 15 minutes. So we'll put these in the broiler. I'll stick it on broil. And I put it on high. I have high and low on mine. So we put it on high. And that's it for this. I'm going to put the eggplants in. Time that. That'll be out for 7 minutes. And we will put the crab cakes in. And if you have leftover for the next day, put them in a container, put them in the fridge, put them in a microwave, And you could put tartar sauce on them. You could put the G. Hughes hot chili sauce on them. Whatever kind of sauce you like, tartar sauce. And we'll be back when they're done. Crab cakes are ready. Now look at these. Aren't they beautiful? So, Joe is having tartar sauce on his. And on mine, I'm having G. Hughes. It's the sugar-free sweet chili. It's got a kick to it. That's why I like it. And then you see there's 2 left over, so we're just going to take those. We'll put them on a plate to cool. And then Joe could have it for lunch tomorrow. So we'll let those cool. On mine, I'm going to put just a trickle of the sweet chili. And I'll be taking the vegetables out. While the camera was off, I put the mozzarella. I took them out and put the mozzarella on top of the asparagus. Excuse me. Joe is having one. These are the cutest little things. You want to put your tartar sauce on there, Joe, so they could see that? Sure. And I'll get the asparagus, put the tartar sauce on. And for the asparagus, when you weigh it, a half a cup is 90 grams. So, of course, 1 cup is 180. Look at that mozzarella. You could also take the crab meat and you could stuff portobello mushrooms with it. So, this is Joe's with the tartar sauce. And this is mine with the chili sauce. That's it. Buon appetito and have a nice evening. I just had to come back and tell you my dinner was delicious. But the other day I made stuffed artichokes. And I left out one ingredient, the Parmesan cheese. So when you're making my meatballs, you're going to drizzle a little oil in the pan. You're going to put a quarter of chopped onion, saute that, and when it becomes soft, put a tablespoon of garlic, chopped. You're going to saute that for 30 seconds, very short time. Don't let the garlic get brown, because if it gets brown, it's going to be bitter. And then after you do that, you're going to put that aside. In 2 pounds of hamburger, you're going to put 2 large eggs, beat them up and then put them in, 1 cup of breadcrumbs on the side in another bowl with 1/4 cup of almond milk. Let it soak in for 15 minutes. Where you put the hamburger, you're going to put 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 cup of chopped fresh parsley, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of dried basil, but I use fresh basil. Chop it up. Another good secret is when you're doing basil and you're getting it at the store, take it. A friend of mine taught me this and it works beautifully. Take it, put it on your spinner for your salad spinner, get all the water out, put it on a cookie sheet in a single layer, let it dry, then take it and you're going to break it up, chop it up, put it in a container, put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in your freezer. When you want it, it stays green, it doesn't turn. You just take it and use what you want. Do the same thing with the parsley. Your parsley will stay green and you'll have it for a long time. As far as the eggplant, it's called graffiti. It is a Sicilian eggplant. It's purple and white. Okay, you'll see it in the store. They're small. And that's it. I had to come back to tell you that. I didn't want you to have a mistake. Okay? Ciao.